say, show us what was happening to you with Drew. So you're going to be on top, going to, oh no, you're going to be on bottom. Drew is kind of going to north-south matrix, and you're going to do what that guy did to you, okay? And he's lifting the hip, right? And what he began to do is you drove your weight in, and he lifted you, literally.
I'm not strong.
Keep driving your weight forward, get on your toes a little bit. Yeah, right there. Yes, that's what happened with Mike, okay? Which disrupts it. Now, for you to do that, for him to do that, he's got to be flat.
Yeah.
Okay? So, if you look at the video, before he was flat, he was on the side. So, the key is also in the north-side matrix is to keep a wedge, like an infant, so they don't throw up on their back. Because that's a big problem, right? Okay? So, the key here, number one, is to keep them north-side matrix wedge, okay? And your knees are how you keep it. So, your feet are wide and your knees are narrow. I see a lot of you guys doing this right here, and now you have no knee pressure because all the weight is on your knees. You need to be here so that the weight can shift from your knees to your feet, and you can constantly keep moving your knees in and keep it on wedge. So watch this now here, Drew. Thank you very much. So in order to counter this, right? So I'm slowly passing your guard here, and then we went here and went here, and then it went right here. Yeah. So now you grab my belt and you went flat right here. And you started lifting me here. So as he does this, look, he's strong right here, right? Because it's like literally a bench press. But if I begin to disrupt the framing structure, it'll collapse it. And then you go to side, and then you stay at an angle north-south. If he again starts to lift right here, you can just begin to shift, because it's like you take a buddy and you give him, like, you know, one plate, do bench press, and then start moving that bar sideways. He's gonna hate you, okay? So this is very important to know. Now, Mike's question also was, when they're on their side, how do you kind of counter that? The thing is that the thing I want to control is I want to make sure that his knees do not get into the game. Because oftentimes what happens is that they'll grab your hip and belt. This is what Jog showed me. And what he does is that he's gonna straighten his arms towards the window and push me literally over his head. Now, yes, right there. You see, and now I can't bring my hips in. And now what he can do a couple things. He can swing his legs like a pendulum and swing it, but yes, right there. And now he gets me back in open guard. And now from here, to address also Steve's question, before you even hook this arm, Mike is in a perfect position now to frame my back and now scoot his hips away and scoot his head away. Yes, and hip again, hip, shoulder, keep scooting. See how he's ahead of me? And I can't even turn around, and now he's got that position. And now literally what he can do is he can begin to push me towards the window as he gets up. And now he's here, and then he gets into that position. And essentially walks around the head and goes to north-south matrix. So we're here, he walked around, went to north-south matrix here, and then he's here, and I went flat here, right? And then I start lifting him here. Slowly swivel your hips. I can't even hold him right here, okay? And as you lift right here, slowly swivel and walk to a slight angled north-south side control. Because I can't hold him, and if I don't let go, he will collapse my elbows, and I don't want his weight to come down on me with my hands in his belt, because he can literally kimura me kind of in a horrible way with his weight dropped. Okay, so that's very important. The next thing is, whenever you notice this, so let's say this happened and he drove his weight forward right here, drove your weight forward, and I lifted you up right here. So if you notice, my arms are extended from my body. As Mike slowly swivels his hips and he falls, the right hand is in a great position to reach for that collar, okay? Now from here, he's got basically a paper cutter setup as he still stays in this kind of tripod position, so his right shoulder starts driving into my rib, yes, and you pull, yes, right here, as you walk your hip to the right, yes, right here, yeah, and stay with pressure here, okay? Because you're gonna go for a basic paper cutter choke right now, but the way you're gonna do it is instead of looping your arm over, you're gonna bring this left elbow across my throat, and you're gonna bring this elbow down on the mat with this hand facing you here, and you're gonna frame my head with the elbow on the mat. Right there, so you don't let me turn into you.
Okay.
This right hand needs to pull and pinch your elbow so you're pitching, yes, right here, okay? So there's a lot of pressure here. Before you even grab this right here, this is what John Jock does, and bring this down to the mat, and yes, and into my shoulder. Yeah, down, yeah, right there. Because look, I can't roll into you, and pinch your elbow to your, yes, and I can't roll away from you. I can't roll into you. As I try to turn into you, Mike just creeps his hand here, grabs anything here, and you're not gonna bring it down. You're gonna pull and you're gonna bring this elbow to your rib as you're gonna plank on your toes, yes, and just roll to your left. Okay. So you're gonna literally plank and just roll to the left versus doing a conventional paper cutter where, yeah, you grab here and then your elbow goes to the mat, and then they start opening that elbow up that way, which is great until they do this, okay, which turns into a problem because now he's losing it right here, okay, and then he potentially lets go here, and then I come up here, and then I'm starting to come up on him. Paper cutter is ineffective and a super ineffective choke if you don't do it right, because it's a complete liability. All right, so once again, he's passing to dorsal, go here, so he's here, so we got here, and he's hit, yes, right here. So he swivels, yes, right there, yes. But you want this arm, walk around the head, so you clear, yes, and now walk back, yeah. And now I want you to constantly keep your elbow pinching and be off of one knee, yes. So preferably your right knee is down and your right shoulder is driving into my rib. Yeah, drive your right shoulder more in my rib. Yeah, like you're spearing it. This elbow goes right here. Don't grab anything. And at first I want you to frame this elbow into my shoulder. So you're opening it? Yes, right here. The key is just to frame my head and have this hand ready in order to grab. So the key here is that what am I gonna do? If I try to roll away, he's gonna pull me this way with his right hand, so I can't roll away. If I try to turn into him to try to grab the head, he slowly creeps up and grabs anything he can. Good. From here, he just sprawl feet wide on your toes, and you're gonna, not to the mat, but pull this to your rib. Yes, and now slowly just rotate to your left. And that's it. Okay.
So the pulling to the rib is not the submission, that's getting it tight, then the submission.
Correct,
is the
it's,
line.
yes, because you're shifting all your weight onto here instead of getting it to the mat and then having to open this elbow in order to create the pressure, which a lot of guys can defend.
Everything I want
fairly
to do is
easy.
pull.
Yes.
I want to pull that.
Yes.
Cohesive. No, it's just lock it down.
You just lock it
And then
right
turn
here.
into it, yeah.
Yes. Now we're just gonna go to the paper cutter. Yeah, right here. So the way we're gonna start this paper cutter, he's gonna sit up, and I'm gonna go here, and I'm gonna grab right here. Now he lays back down. Yeah. So what I want to do right here is I want to constantly keep pulling this elbow to my hip, so that you feel that right
Yeah,
there, right?
way more.
Yes.
now.
So that I control. Also, I want to be doing this right here, okay? Because what happens is that if I start doing this, he'll grab my elbow and pull it, okay? So what John Johnson, and you feel that right there, okay? So what he does is that he does that right there, and I still keep driving forward. Because if he tries to roll away, I have him. He tries to roll into me. This is where you grab anything here. And now all I'm going to do is I'm just going to sprawl right onto him here, and now shift weight. Okay, without having to do this, which you'll grab it loose, and then you'll be here, and then here. And to defend, I mean, sure, eventually I'll crank his head, but Mike is slowly going to get a cross release with the left hand. Yes, and I'm already losing it right here. Okay, because the second I let go, he'll lift his leg. Yeah, it's right there. And what's even worse is that he keeps this. And you get stuck in like a key lock situation. Does that make sense, guys? So we're gonna do.
How deep do you want that feed?
Deep enough. I want it to where I want to keep his elbow by my ribs. The reason why I need to do this is because if you don't, if this is loose, you'll pull that out and then he'll just pull it out right here. So here, you need to be able to clear it here. That's why it's good to walk on the head, and I wanna constantly keep pressure with my feet and my elbow, because if he now tries to pull it out, okay, it's stuck a little bit. If I just sit here, you potentially can't, yeah, right here, yeah. But here, I'll keep him on the side here, and then you bring it here, and it's almost like, yes, and you keep driving right here, yeah. So here, I grab here, and I pull myself forward here, and now it's just a matter of shifting weight. Yeah. Instead of going here now, and doing this whole thing, which I possibly could finish, but look at my angle now. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm gonna show you the worst possible clock choke ever that you'll never get at, okay? So, does that make sense, guys?
Yeah.
Anybody have any questions? So let's just do the clock choke if you want to. Do that hip swiveling to break down the bench press. Here, you just swivel the hips and then they'll drop, okay? Let's do it, 1, 2, 3. North, south,